As many of you might know, I love women, especially Latinas, and as we all know, Iran is part of the Latina Belt. That's a well-known fact. Bibi has been generous enough to volunteer his time to free Iran for us to enjoy more Latinas. But this isn't my only argument for why Big Yahoo is a political genius. If you stick around, you'll start to see the argument I'm trying to make. Even the best university in the world, MIT, which as we all know has produced the most morally sound leaders in history, saw that same potential in little Yahoo when he was just a kid from Philly, and they enrolled him under the fake name of Ben Netai to study architecture.
While he was born in Israel, Netanyahu grew up in the 1960s with an American upbringing. He graduated from Cheltenham High School in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Ben, as he was called by his American friends, later attended MIT and Harvard. In the late 1970s, he worked for the Boston Consulting Group, where he would make a lasting friendship with future Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney.
Yeah, that's right. Bibi was as Israeli as your vaguely Mediterranean local restaurant or the hummus at Trader Joe's. But he was soon to prove himself competent. At MIT, he walked into his professor's office and told him he did not want to spend 4 years getting a degree. The professor recalled he did it with such bravado. He said it as a fact, he said. Impressed, the professor let him take a double load and finish his degree in just 2 years. After his time at MIT, Netanyahu decided to take America's biggest export, false confidence, and bring it with him on his trip to the Holy Land. Zionism was one of the biggest intellectual projects of the 20th century. Its central goal was to redefine Jewish identity from the weak, scattered diaspora to the strong new Jew that will take the land and rebuild it. Let me ask you a hypothetical. How smart do you have to be to take over a job offered to Einstein? The answer is you'll definitely need some wrinkles in your brain, and this is where intellectual Ben-Gurion comes in. As a politician, he was confronted with such big brain questions like which language should we use? Where do we get our food from? How should our economy be managed? He's credited with a lot of the early decisions that defined what a Zionist state should look like. He helped in reviving the Hebrew language instead of the proposed German being the language of science. He used Soviet-inspired central planning to achieve industrialization more quickly. Both allies and enemies, whether pro-US or not, still had some respect for what he has been able to accomplish. Even China respected his model.
The narrative adopted by Israel in China is that both the Jewish people and the Chinese people are ancient civilizations that suffered enormously in modern history, and the success of Israel in defeating its rivals and building a modern economy in 2 generations is a model for China. In Chinese internet, there are many articles telling the Chinese people the virtue of the Jews and how China can learn from them.
Foreigners complain about the influence of American culture on their own local traditions, but America's biggest cultural export isn't the Big Mac or the iPhone. It's guys like this, Netanyahu, Javier Milei, and Viktor Orban, that destroy local politics for vibes-based American identity politics. Netanyahu's biggest mistake was importing a system from a country where material reality doesn't matter to a place where it very much does. He single-handedly changed Israel's political culture from a Soviet-like hard science to a more vibes-based Trump kind of politics. America's so powerful, it doesn't matter what decision the president makes. You could replace the president with a literal magic 8-ball and it would have zero effect on the economy. Like, look around, who's gonna challenge the richest and most powerful country in all of humanity's history? America Light, the guys who make our tacos, or the island we embargoed to death? See, when a country is this rich, it starts to crave more high-minded activities. Politics becomes more about the vibes and the general energy. Does my president like Coke or ice cream? Can I have a beer with the guy? All of this leads me to suspect that Bibi might actually be the highest IQ PLO member in history. I know it's crazy, but hear me out. He undid not billions but trillions of dollars spent on wars and PR for Israel. You can't make this happen.
הוא אמר שאני חושב בעדינו, אבל כאילו...
לא החריבו.